Hi and welcome back. So it's been a year using this Husqvarna lawnmower and I've only got good things to say about it. So I used it all the way through spring, summer, a little bit of autumn last year, and we've just fired it up again this spring. It hasn't missed a beat at all, and I've been using it maybe once every week for about an hour and a half. We've got quite a lot of lawn, and yeah, the only things that I've had to do maintenance wise is replace oil and sharpen the blades, and obviously keep it full of fuel. I would say it's pretty economical. You can probably use it for about an hour on about a litre of fuel, something like that. So I fill it up twice in my usage, and I've got a few comments to make about it. Things that I would possibly improve, things that I haven't used on it. The main one that I haven't used is this lever here, where you can adjust the handle, the angle of it. I just set it at the beginning super tight. Didn't want to mess around with it because I don't want any of the washers or anything to come loose there. The suspension, which is in the handle, the dampeners have been great, although I've got nothing to compare it against because I haven't used the one without, but I think it was about an extra £80, and I would say definitely go for the one with the dampener. Other than that, the body is really sturdy. It's held together nicely. One thing that I have had to replace once is this friction washer, which is between the blade and the motor underneath, which actually on the first big cut that I did in our lawn, where at the beginning of the season usually you'll find there's stones and things on the lawn that have just accumulated over the winter. The blade hit quite a few of them, and perhaps it wasn't done up properly at the beginning, but that wore out. So I've replaced it once, and I fired it up again this spring, and I've had to replace it again because it hit things on the lawn that shouldn't be there. It's a bit annoying really, because the whole operation of the mower is kind of dependent on this small part. So my recommendation would be, if you are going to buy it, buy yourself at least one of these spare. I went online and I could only actually find one available, and it arrived this morning. I'm guessing a whole bunch of other guys have had the same issues and have had to order them. Also, the wheels, which are an incredible construction on the outside, I think it's cast aluminium. On the inside is made of plastic, so I have bought a replacement interior hub, which I'm going to fit, because stones again on this first cut of the season have come up and they have hit the blade and shot onto the inside hub. So I'll open this now. I'm going to have to replace this part. Now, with the good construction of the rest of the mower, I've got no idea why Husqvarna didn't just decide to put an alloy inner hub as well, something a little bit more sturdy. Why I'm having to replace it with this flimsy bit of plastic, which if a stone hits it, it's just going to break again. But overall, I think it's a brilliant motor. It cuts extraordinarily well, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think we'll have this thing for years. It fired up with first pull of the cord, which I was impressed by after it had been sat unused for 5 months or something. I do recommend, I went for this because it's, instead of the Briggs Stratton motor, it's got a Honda GCV 170, and yeah, that's powerful enough to do what it needs to do. So overall, I would recommend anybody who has got a big lawn that needs to cut it regularly and doesn't want to faff around with something that they're just going to have to replace in a few years, to get this. What I wish I had done at the beginning is get one of the counters, so I knew how long the engine had been running throughout the season, but I would say I've probably used this for 40, maybe 50 hours plus, and yeah, it's what else can I say? Recommend it. Cheers, Husqvarna. So this is the part in question, which is this washer. It's kind of like a composite material. I did look online to see if I could find something similar as a substitute, because I was unable to find this at the beginning, but that goes there on the assembly. It fits over this section here, and then I think we've got the blade goes on, which is this way around. That fits onto there. We've got another washer here, and this screws in a clockwise direction, and I think it's held up pretty well under here, considering all the stones and stuff that are flying around. I'm gonna have to get a spanner to do this. Will that work? Yes. The blade is pretty easy to sharpen. It's a good mulcher, and you've got this adjustable height for the cutting deck. You've got 5 different settings. Number 1 being the lowest, which I reckon if you had a lawn that was like a golf course, I think I'm gonna have to get another washer for that. Then you would use that. I've never actually used that, but I use between 5 and 3. And then I'll just show you. This is the problem. You see, we've got broken plastic. Why on earth they would decide to use that material when on the outside you've got this cast aluminium? Doesn't make sense to me. So now I'm going to replace this. Right, I've just removed the outer assembly for the wheel, and as you can see from just one use, having that hole, loads of this mulched grass has made its way inside the wheel, which is going to have to be cleaned out. That, if you leave it, will end up being an abrasive and will affect this gear mechanism, which powers the front 2 wheels. That is the guilty party, the hole. I'm going to replace that. Got this other genuine Husqvarna part, flimsy as anything. That's going back on. So if anybody from Husqvarna is listening, can you please, on the next version, update this with an alloy component, or make it as an accessory so that the rest of us that have got this model can replace them. All nice and clean now, and I'm going to reassemble this with heaps of grease and fire it up for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to fire it up and see how we get on. Fingers crossed it will start on the first pull. Thumbs up. As you can see, it's working very nicely, and I've got a huge lawn to be getting on with cutting, so until next time.